ये कामरान शायद माइक ऑन करके भूल गए हैं। चलिए खैर, ये देखें कि ये लास्ट चैप्टर हमारा कितना हमने कर लिया था।
सर स्टार्ट से करना,
स्टार्टिंग से है।
यस सर।
ओके। In this chapter, we will study regression and correlation. A regression is a relation in the form of a straight line or parabola or any other curve like exponential. And in correlation, we find the strength of that relation. In a regression, we find that how much one variable is depending upon the other. So we develop that relation sometimes in the form of a straight line or parabola form, and sometimes if we look at this last figure, we cannot assess anything. So maybe there is no relation between the two variables. From scattered plot, we can guess that this flow seems to be along a straight line with positive slope, and sometimes it is like this, and sometimes it is in the form of a parabola. Okay, read this text. We are mainly concerned with the use of association among variables. These associations may be useful in many ways, and one of the most important and most common is prediction. This method is used for predicting the values of one quantity by using the value of related quantity. Now how we represent this first quantity, and how we name the other quantity. Such method may also lead to method for controlling the value of one variable, that is also called controlled variable, by adjusting the values of the related variable. This related variable will be our independent variable. Regression analysis offers us a sensible and sound approach for examining association among variables and for obtaining good rules for prediction. It also helps the things are related. In this way, we can decide where we are standing and how should we exist. How can we exist in the market? Regression analysis. In this regression analysis, we make decision based on prediction of future events. For example, we are observing data for a long time, but we cannot study each and every point. We just observe 10, 15, or let's say 50 observations and draw this scattered plot, these dots. For each x we have a value of y, so a dot can be plotted. So in this way, let's say we have a few number of observations. We observed at a few number of places, and on this basis we decided to find a relation in the form of a straight line. But what will happen after this, and what was the situation before this? How can we assess? We have not observed. So as we find a relation in the form of a straight line, we can predict for the future points, and also we can observe what was the position before these observed values. So this helps for this purpose. And also we have observed at this stage, and we have observed at this stage what was the situation in between, we can also predict. So this is the main purpose of this regression relation. So this relation will be between what is already known and what is to be estimated. We know these observed values. We have visited, we have surveyed, so we know this one. And when we find this straight line, this is called our estimated curve. Regression curve is also known as estimated curve. And we estimate the things now through these curves. Okay, then we will study later on correlation analysis that determines which the variables are related, the strength of the relation. It tells us how well the estimating equation actually describes the relationship, how firmly this is calculated through correlation. Again, this is also the strength of the relation. Actually, when the things are related, let's say they are depending upon one or more than one variables, this is not that there is a physical relation exists between these variables. They are doing their own work and we are doing our own work, but we are depending in, even then we are depending many things in nature, many things in market. So that's why we have to think about these things. How should we proceed in our project? Okay, now the problem is which line is the best. Let's we try to find this straight line, but which one is the best line? One says that this line should be from here to here in this direction, and one says that this should be from here to here. So which straight line is the best one? What is the purpose actually? Because when we relate the things, we cannot come to a definite result. We have a certain error. So that's why we need this relation. Now, which relation is the best one in which we have minimum errors? So leave this discussion, just go through, just read these things. When when we have fixed relations between two variables, then we have nothing to do for those variables in statistics. Statistics play a role when there is uncertainty, there is ambiguity, when we have certain error in calculating one variable with the help of the other. So when we have no errors, the relation is deterministic. For example, Fahrenheit and centigrade, mass and weight, and many other definite relations we have, and we have to do nothing with these relations because they are giving a fixed result, whether we are in a desert, whether we are in a hilly area. Wherever we go, these results exist everywhere, so there is no ambiguity. But if we face ambiguity, for example, if our construction is made in Lahore, for example, we can assess the cost, we can estimate the cost. But the same construction with the same design and structure, if we construct the same building in remote areas, the expenditures will be different, quite different. But if we construct in hilly area, then again we have different results, different material, different labor, different wages, and different cost. So this observation, these things have variation. So to handle this this variation, we study statistics. I have put it a different example, not related to your engineering, that in different fields of lands, we apply fertilizers and getting a potato crop. We will have different crop as we have applied a different amount of fertilizers. So again we have variation. We can assess, we cannot assess that if we apply 1 kg, then we will have this this amount. But when we apply 2 kg, we are not getting the amount related to this one. Again, this is quite different. But if 2 kg is applied and we are getting 27 kg, let's say, but when we are applying 4 kg, even then we are not getting too much large quantity of potato. So this is the variation. We cannot assess anything from this observation. We have lot of ambiguity in this case. So that's why we need to determine a relation between these variables. If we assess from scattered plot a straight line, a tendency towards a straight line, we can construct a straight line. If we feel that the tendency is along a parabola, we will construct a parabolic relation. Okay, how can we decide for a better curve, a good one? Here we have an example of weather and traffic. We have ambiguity. We have observed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 observations, and getting these dots when we represent in XY plane. So we have dots. Clearly, these dots are showing a tendency along a straight line. So how can we assess the best line? There is a method of least square. There is a method of least square. Before studying this method, also we must know the dependent variable is also called response variable. It is giving the response for different values of x. And the variable on the basis of which the dependent variable to be estimated is called independent variable, called the regressor or the predictor. This is called the regressand. Also we call this y is called dependent variable or regressand. Similarly, the independent variable is called the regressor or predictor. The values obtained values of y obtained from this linear regression for different values of x, for different values of the independent variable, will be called as predicted values. Predicted values. Okay, now the decision. The method of least square. We have this situation. Always we have different values of y for a different value of x without any fixed criteria. Always we have a certain error. So when we find a suitable curve for this data, this is called the estimated line regress or the regression relation. We need this equation by finding the values of a and b. Now how can we find these values? This is called, we can find out the best values by the method of least square, estimating a straight line using the method of least square. What is the method of least square? Let's say we need this equation. So first of all we find the normal equations. How can we find these normal equations? If there are two unknown, two constants, there will be two normal equations. If we have three unknown, then there are three normal equations. Okay, how to find out them? Let's say this one is the equation and one constant is independent. So for this, directly apply sigma to this equation, this given equation. Apply sigma to this equation. Remember, sigma a. Also we apply a sigma to the constant. This becomes n time, na. That's why sigma a is replaced with na. Rest of the expression is correct. Perfect. Now, as our second constant is a coefficient of x, so first multiply this equation by x and then apply sigma. This will be the answer. If we have three equations, we need to fit a parabolic curve. Let's say, in this example, fit a parabolic equation using the least square method, as one constant is independent without being the coefficient of any x. So for this, apply sigma to this given equation. This will be the answer. This is our first normal equation. As second constant is a coefficient of x, so first multiply this equation by x, then apply sigma. This will be the second normal equation. As our third constant is a coefficient of x square, so first multiply this equation by x square. We have x square y, ax4, bx cube, cx square. Apply sigma to this equation. In this way, we will get third normal equation. Now we need to construct our table for these normal equations. In these normal equations, we need sigma x, sigma y, sigma x, sigma x square, sigma x cube, sigma x4, and also sigma xy, sigma x square, xy square. So construct columns. These first two columns is showing our given data. We will put the given data in first two columns. Then we need sigma x square. That's why we construct x square column, x cube column, x4 column, xy column, x square y column. The sum of these columns will provide us our required sigma. Sigma x is the sum of first column, sigma y is the sum of second column, sigma x square, sigma x cube. We get all these sigmas. Put all these sigmas in normal equations. Now the normal equations become of this form. Solve them simultaneously using calculator. Don't try them manually. It will take a lot of time. So solve these equations using calculator. In certain calculators, we have this option. Okay, we get the values of A, B, and C, putting back in our required equation. This is the final answer. Similarly, in the case of straight line, construct your table for these straight lines. Put given data in first two columns. Moreover, we need sigma xy and sigma x square. So sigma xy will be the sum of this column, and sigma x square will be the sum of this column. Putting the values of these sums in normal equations and solve the normal equations simultaneously, you will get the values of A and B. Putting back in your required equation, this is the answer. Try these problems also. Now, Which type of the conclusion we can make? The above regression line provides the estimated values not the mean values, no, not the mean values of y for given values of x. For example, let me find out. Okay, here in this example we have a straight line. Okay, by the method of least square. Now find the value of y cap. Whatever you have calculated, let's say we have calculated this estimated line. Put the values of x in this relation one by one. These are the values of y cap. These are the values of the fitted curve at the given values of x. These are called the estimated values. Estimated values of x. Here the constant b is 2.381. Also called the value of b is called of regression. Coefficient of regression. Remember this thing. In some problems, only you are to calculate coefficient of regression. So just calculate the value of b, nothing else. Okay, we have calculated the estimated values of y. These estimated values. Now find the value of x. For any other values of x which is not available in this table. Let's say the x equal to 0 is not available here. So we can also, as we have developed a relation, so we can find out a value of y at x equal to 0 at a value of x which is not available in the table. This will be called as the predicted value. This will be called as the predicted values. I think I have mentioned all these things. Remember this this text we will study. We will read it a little bit later. Let me find out the predicted and estimated values. I will add this thing as we have here something about this. Remember, the predicted value of y is a value for a particular value of x which is not available, which we have not observed. For example, in our example which we have discussed just now, for example, here in this case we have observed up to 4.5. What will happen at 5, at 6? So at 5 and 6, the value of y will be predicted. Now one person suggests a straight line for the given data, and other one prefer a parabolic relation for a particular curve. So which one is the best? We can assess, we can decide with the help of coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination. It determines the goodness of the fit of the estimated regression equation. We have a formula for this denoted by r square, and its range is from 0 to 1. This is also just a table construction. We will find, as we have determined in previous example, all the values of y cap. Also find y bar. Y bar is the mean of the given values of y. So find these differences, square them and sum up. Similarly, in the denominator, y is our observed data, given data, y bar, y minus y bar, and then find their squares. Sum of that column. So put these sums in the formula, or also you can use this formula. If the value is near 0, we will say that the model is a poor model. This is not a good one. But as the values are going towards 1, because the range of r square, the range of coefficient of determinant is from 0 to 1. So as it is near 0, it is near 1, it is showing a good model. So this decision we can also make using this measure. Okay, there is another situation when we have an equation to fit which is exponential, let's say. In example 5, we need to fit this exponential curve, and these values are observed. This is our observed data. So for this purpose, we first linearize this equation. And to linearize, we will take the log on both sides, applying some logarithmic properties. And finally, we replace log of capital Y equal to small y, and log of A equal to capital A, and B log of E equal to capital B. In this way, we will get a straight line. This procedure is called the linearization method. You can also use the natural log for this purpose. I have solved this example with both the methods. So as we are getting a straight line here, so find the normal equations for this straight line. These are the normal equations. But remember the notation of capital X and small y. We are using small y in our normal equation. In this straight line, y is small, x is capital. According to this, find your normal equation and also construct the table. X, y is our given data. First of all, find small y by taking log of y. Then find x square and also xy. Again, here y is small. Putting all these sums in your normal equations and solving them, we will get the answer. But this is the value of capital A, as capital A is log of small a. So by taking anti-log, we can find the value of small a. Similarly, as capital B is B log of E, so by dividing right hand side by log of E, we will get the value of small b. Putting values of small a and small b in your required equation, which is exponential. So this is our final answer, which is required. And also try to understand the solution when we use natural log. Sometimes we have this equation. Again, we need to linearize this equation. For this purpose, take the log on both sides, and finally with certain substitution, we will convert the equation, given equation, to a straight line. Now find its normal equations and construct your table for these normal equations. Putting the sums in the normal equations and solving, you will get the values of small a and small b. Finally put it in your required equation. Also go through these solved problems. Sometimes we are not given a table, just directly we are given the sums. So for which equation these sums are given, we will guess. It is not mentioned in this statement. We have to decide. We have two types of parabolic curves. In this question, we need to fit a second degree parabola for the given information. We have two types of parabolic equation, either this one or this one. For this one, these are the normal equations, and for this one, these are the normal equations. Now look at the given information. which sigmas are given. We are given sigma x square, sigma x cube, sigma x4, and these sigmas are used in these normal equations, and these normal equations are for this parabolic equation. So this is required. Now construct your table for these normal equations and putting the sum in these normal equations and then solving. By solving, you will get the values of the constants A, B, and C. This is final conclusion. Okay, next is standard deviation of the regression. It is just like the standard deviation of as we have studied in first chapter. In first chapter, standard deviation shows the deviation from the mean value, how the observations are deviating from mean value. But in this case, we will observe that how the dots are deviating from this fitted line. That's why first we find the difference, y minus y cap. This is called the deviation from estimated curve. Then find their squares and sum up. Put in this formula, you will get the answer. Also, you can use this alternative formula. As in all previous examples, we have calculated values of A and B. So put the corresponding value of A and B. Then what to calculate further? We need sigma y square. So construct y square column in your table, sum up y column, and also construct xy column and sum up. Put all these. Of n is always the number of observations in a problem. In this case, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 values are given. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 values are given. So n is equal to 8 in this case. I have mentioned here the table construction for the standard deviation of regression. First, these are first two columns is showing our given data. Then construct xy column, x square. This will help to fill the summations in these normal equations. Sigma x from here, sigma y from here, sigma xy from here, sigma x square from here. Put all these sums in these normal equations and solve it. Finally, you will get the required straight line. This is denoted by y cap. Now find estimated values for each values of x given in first column and find their difference with observed values, and then taking squares, sum up, and this sum will be used in the formula and finally get the answer. Just we have a numerical value. Coefficient of determination we have discussed. Then we have coefficient of correlation. That is again a table construction, nothing else. X, Y, our given data. Find x minus x bar. X bar, how to find x bar? X by the mean value of these values. And y bar is the mean of y values. Find these differences, their squares, and the product of second and third and fourth column. obtain this product and put the sums of these columns in this formula. Finally, you will get the coefficient of correlation. But conclusion is a little difficult. The range for this coefficient of correlation is from -1 to +1. How we decide? If this value is exactly equal to -1, this will show that the relation is a perfect negative correlation. If the value of R is +1, we say that the correlation is a perfect positive correlation. If the value of R is 0, this means there is no correlation. Now what will happen if the value of R is near -1, near +1 and near 0? If it is near -1, this is showing strong negative correlation. If it is near +1, it will show strong positive correlation. If it is near 0 but positive, from positive side, it is showing weak positive correlation. If it is near 0 but negative, from negative side, this is showing weak negative correlation. In the following examples, I have, although these equations are solved, we are getting the answer of R, that is 0.982. This means the value of R is near +1. It is showing a strong relationship, a strong correlation. And sometimes we have this value negative, as in this example, the value of R is -0.944, near -1. So this is showing a negative correlation, a strong negative correlation. Similarly, go through the solved problems also. Here we have another measure of rank correlation. Skip all these. Just remember this formula. I will reset this formula. Rank correlation. Again, the range is from -1 to
सर ये कोरिलेशन प्रेडिक्ट क्या करता है हमें?
जी बताएं, दोबारा बताएंगे।
सर ये कोरिलेशन हमें प्रेडिक्ट क्या करता है?
कोरिलेशन ये स्टार्टिंग में मैंने अभी बात की थी कि ये स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ द रिलेशन के लिए है।
सर अगर +1 होगी या -1 होगी, दोनों में स्ट्रॉन्ग ही होगी।
अभी वो फिगर में मैंने बताया ना, मैं दोबारा बता देता हूँ। अभी दोबारा ये ना, इसकी रीसेटिंग बहुत खराब हो चुकी है, वायरस से हो गया या इसकी रीसेटिंग कर दूंगा। First of all, coefficient of correlation. सिर्फ correlation कहा हो या coefficient of correlation or Spearman coefficient of correlation, all are the same. And this measure is denoted by R, one thing. Now, the calculation is simple, just a table construction. Now, the conclusion. This measure showing the strength of the relation. How much the dependency of one variable is on the other, how much they are associated with each other. So, if this value is exactly -1, the conclusion is that there is a perfect negative correlation between x and y, between two variables under consideration. If the value of r is +1, this means that there is a perfect positive correlation between the variable. If value is 0, this means there is nothing. They are not associated. They are not correlated. Now, if the value is near -1, that is showing strong negative correlation. If it is near +1, that is showing strong positive correlation. If it is near 0 but positive from this side, this is showing weak positive correlation. And if it is again near 0 but from negative side, if it is negative and near 0, this means there is a weak negative correlation between the variable. For rank correlation, we prefer this measure if the values of x, or values of y, or both having certain repetition. Here in this case, the values of x are repeated. 5 we have, 8 and 8 we have. So how we proceed? First of all, we assign certain ranks to these values of x and y. X, y values we show in first two columns. Now we find their ranked values. And we denote these ranked values by small x and small y. How we proceed? We assign certain ranks to these values, but in a systematic way. Sometime in ascending order and sometimes in descending order. And which values may be assigned? We assign numbers, ranked values in decimal or in integral form. We can assign some even numbers. We can also assign some odd numbers, but in a systematic way, in a sequence. Let's in this example, we are starting highest to minimum and assign a rank of 1 to our first value. Then comes 15, so assign 2. After this we have 13, so assign 3. After this we have 11, so assign 4. After 11 we have 10, so assign a value 5. After this 10 we have 8 and 8. But next ranks are 6 and 7. So assign these values an average rank. As the next coming ranks are 6 and 7, so assign their average 6.5 to both. Now in this way we have assigned 7 ranks to our values of x. Next rank is 8, and our values, next values are 5 and 5. They are repeated. So for these values, next coming ranks are 8 and 9. So assign them average rank, average of 8 and 9, which is 8.5, 8.5 to both. In this, now we have assigned 9 ranks. Next coming rank is 10, and only one value is left in our column. And next value is 2. So assign a rank of 10. By chance, in Y values, there is no repetition, so just assign rank from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Find their differences and square of these differences. In this way, we will also have minimum calculation. Put these values, sigma d di square, sum of the squares of the differences, which is 3, and value of n is 10, as 10 order pairs are given in our data. By simplifying, we get an answer of 0.98. What is the conclusion? There is a strong positive correlation, as the value of R is near +1. You will also have an assignment, assignment 2, and you will submit this assignment on the exam day of end-term exam. Whatever is the date, you will submit on the exam day of end-term. Also, I have mentioned here certain hints. Also, the table construction, this will help you to complete this assignment. Next is a little about the multiple regression and correlation, but we will discuss only multiple regression. We will develop a multiple regression relation. This relation will be of y on x1 and x2. This relation is of one variable on 2. That's why this is called multiple linear regression. The only difficult thing is to find out the normal equations. This procedure is very simple because the normal equations are almost the same as we have done in our previous examples. Our one constant is independent alone. So just apply sigma to this given equation. You will get your first normal equation. As second constant is a coefficient of x1, therefore first multiply your given equation by x1. We will have x1 by b0 x1, b1 x1 square, b2 x1 x2. Then apply sigma. We will get second normal equation. Now, as our third constant is a coefficient of x2, so first multiply this equation by x2. We have x2y, b0 x2, b1 x1 x2 plus b2 x2 square. So in this way we are getting our third normal equation. Just construct your table for these normal equations. Put your given data in first two columns. This will provide Our given data is in 3 columns: y, column of y, column of x1, and column of x2. So in first 3 columns, put your data. First column will provide us sigma y, second sigma x1, third sigma x2. Further, by looking at the normal equations, we need x1 y, so construct x1 y column and sum up. We need sigma x1 square, so sum up. First of all, find x1 square and sum up x1 x2. Construct this column and sum up. Putting all these sums in your normal equations and solve them, getting the values of the constants. This will be the answer. This is table construction, and after putting the values of the sums, we have this situation, and by solving, we are getting all the constants. Putting these constants in our required equation, we will get a multiple linear regression. Just leave rest of the part. And go through these, solve problems for multiple regression equation. This is the end of this chapter and also the end of your course contents. All the course contents have been completed. This text and also the detail for midterm exam, and also about the quiz and assignment. I will send all the detail on WhatsApp group. Okay ji, wishing you all the best. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz sir. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.